It was supposed to be a night of glitz, glamour, and music. The kind of event where celebrities shine under the spotlight, where every red carpet step is scrutinized and every smile captured by 1,000 lenses. The 2026 Grammy Awards promised just that. But no one expected the drama to erupt not from a performance, not from a nomination, but from a single line spoken by Trevor Noah, one that would instantly send shockwaves across the world. The words were simple. 3 words. Yacht girl. Spoken in the middle of a joke, delivered with the effortless charm of a seasoned host, yet carrying a weight that no one could have anticipated. Those words, seemingly harmless to some, became the spark that ignited a firestorm around Meghan Markle, an event that would dominate headlines, social media, and dinner table conversations for weeks after. Before we continue, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for updates. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to be publicly humiliated in front of millions of people? To have your image, carefully crafted over years, dissected in seconds? For Meghan Markle, this was no hypothetical. It was real, and it happened on a stage meant for celebration, entertainment, and recognition. But in that moment, the Grammy Awards became more than an awards show. It became a battlefield for reputation, perception, and power. The question isn't just whether Trevor Noah crossed a line. The real question is why it mattered so much, why the world collectively gasped, and why Meghan's response, subtle, pointed, or otherwise, has become the stuff of legend. Let's rewind for a second. Think about Trevor Noah, the man behind the microphone. A comedian known for sharp wit, a knack for timing, and the ability to turn social commentary into laughter. He has hosted millions of viewers night after night, walking the tightrope of humor and controversy. But even the most seasoned hosts can miscalculate. And in this case, what he said wasn't just another joke. It wasn't a playful quip aimed at making the audience laugh. In context, it was something far more provocative. Those 3 words, yacht girl, carried a subtle sting, a jab that seemed personal, pointed, and perfectly timed to make everyone in the room lean in and gasp. Now imagine the audience. Thousands of people sitting in anticipation, cameras rolling, millions more watching live from around the globe. Some laughed nervously, some whispered to their neighbors, some watched in stunned silence. And Meghan? Her expression, caught on multiple cameras, spoke volumes. There was a flicker of surprise, a trace of disbelief, and perhaps the faintest shadow of hurt. This wasn't just public attention. This was public scrutiny at its most intense, a moment where every micro-expression was analyzed and debated in real time. Have you ever felt like the entire world is watching you, judging you, dissecting your every movement? That was Meghan in those seconds, and the fallout would be immediate. What makes this story even more compelling isn't just the incident itself. It's the timing. In 2026, Meghan Markle's public persona had been carefully curated. She had navigated media storms before, yes, but she had also worked tirelessly to build a post-royal image that emphasized activism, style, and individuality. She had faced criticism, backlash, and relentless scrutiny from tabloids and television hosts, yet had emerged resilient. So why did this one joke hit so differently? Why did it seem to cut deeper, resonate louder, and provoke more outrage than almost anything before it? The answer lies not just in the words themselves, but in the context surrounding them, the personas involved, and the unspoken tension simmering behind the scenes. Because here's the thing about celebrity culture, it thrives on layers. The surface is what everyone sees, the glamour, the smiles, the public appearances. But underneath, there are narratives, histories, rivalries, and perceptions that few outsiders understand. And when someone like Trevor Noah, known for his insider knowledge and razor-sharp humor, uses a phrase like yacht girl, it isn't just a random choice. It's loaded. It taps into history, insinuates judgment, and sends an unspoken message that only some will fully grasp. Was it an innocent joke? Or was it a subtle dig, a calculated remark designed to provoke attention and controversy? That's the question that would dominate headlines and dominate social feeds in the hours following the ceremony. Even more intriguing is how this moment unfolded in real time. Unlike a scripted segment, unlike a controlled environment, live television is unpredictable. Microphones pick up whispers, cameras catch expressions that were never meant to be broadcast, and a host's improvisation can lead to consequences no one anticipates. Trevor Noah, standing center stage, delivered the line with precision. The audience reacted in fragmented ways. Laughter, murmurs, and a few audible gasps filled the room. Meghan, ever composed, masked her initial reaction, but those watching closely could sense a subtle shift. The energy in the room changed, even if just for a moment, like the quiet before a storm breaks. And for social media users, those fleeting seconds were enough to ignite speculation, debate, and an internet frenzy. By the time the ceremony ended, the narrative had already begun to form. Clips circulated online. Reactions poured in from commentators, journalists, and fans alike. Some defended Trevor, framing it as harmless humor, the kind you expect from a late-night host. Others criticized him, arguing the joke was unnecessary, mean-spirited, or even emblematic of deeper issues in celebrity culture. In Meghan's camp, they remained tight-lipped initially, adding fuel to the fire. Every second that passed allowed rumors to spread, theories to develop, and public opinion to polarize further. Have you ever watched something unfold in real time online, knowing the outcome could change someone's life, reputation, or career? That was the world watching Meghan Markle at the 2026 Grammys, trying to interpret her every reaction while the internet exploded in real time. The "yacht girl" line also carried symbolic weight. The term itself, seemingly innocuous, became a shorthand for status, privilege, and perception. It wasn't just about Meghan as an individual. It was about the image she represented, the assumptions society made about her lifestyle, and the narratives media often imposes on public figures. Those three words became a lightning rod, encapsulating centuries of scrutiny, class assumptions, and gendered commentary, all in under 2 seconds of airtime. It's incredible how language, delivered in the right moment, can carry so much power. It can amuse, wound, provoke thought, or ignite controversy, sometimes all at once. And in this case, it did all three. But here's the twist that makes this story impossible to look away from. While everyone fixated on Trevor's words, few noticed what came immediately after. Meghan's composure, the subtle nod, the micro-expression, the glance at an unseen corner of the audience. These fleeting gestures would later be dissected frame by journalists, fans, and media critics. They hinted at something deeper, a response, a thought, perhaps even a private victory that no one outside that room could fully grasp. And that is where this story truly begins, not with the words, but with the ripple effects they created. Because what came next would change everything, and no one saw it coming. Have you ever walked into a room where every eye is on you, yet no one seems to notice the storm building just beneath the surface? That was the scene at the 2026 Grammy Awards, a night glittering with anticipation, excitement, and just the slightest undercurrent of tension. From the moment the red carpet lights flickered on, the energy was electric. Celebrities arrived in couture gowns and sharp tuxedos, camera flashes staccato like gunfire, reporters shouting names into microphones, and fans lining the streets in anticipation of even the briefest glimpse of their idols. But in all the glamour, in all the orchestrated perfection, the stage was quietly being set for a moment that no one would forget. The Grammys are a spectacle unlike any other. There is the glamour, yes, the sparkling outfits, the carefully curated images, the aura of success. But beneath the surface, there is a labyrinth of politics, alliances, rivalries, and expectations. Artists arrive with pride, nerves, and agendas. Hosts prepare their monologues, writing jokes that walk the fine line between clever and controversial. And among the crowd, every movement, every glance, and every expression is amplified. The cameras don't just capture performances. They capture vulnerabilities, micro-expressions, and those fleeting moments where the public persona cracks just a little. That night, Meghan Markle, who had carefully cultivated an image of composure, activism, and grace, stepped into this pressure cooker knowing full well the world was watching. But even Meghan, seasoned in the art of public attention, could not have anticipated the exact energy in the room. She was greeted with smiles, polite nods, and the occasional whisper of gossip. The photographers were relentless, flashes igniting every few seconds, casting light and shadow across her perfectly styled outfit. She navigated the carpet with the practiced grace of someone who knew every camera angle, every pose, every nod that would read well on screen. And yet, there was something different in the air that night. Perhaps it was the elevated tension of the Grammy stage, the weight of expectation on every performer and guest. Perhaps it was the subtle knowledge that certain individuals, armed with wit and timing, had plans that could disrupt the carefully orchestrated evening. Whatever it was, it created a charge, a silent current running through the room that few could ignore. And then there was Trevor Noah, standing at the center of it all. He had rehearsed, practiced, and refined every joke, every pause, every inflection. Yet the beauty and danger of live television is that nothing is ever fully controllable. Trevor thrives on observation, on nuance, on the slightest cue that can turn a simple joke into something memorable, or in this case, notorious. Walking onto the stage, he radiated confidence, the kind that suggests he knows exactly how the audience will react. And for the millions watching live, every movement was amplified. But no preparation could fully account for the chemistry of the room, the overlapping tensions, and the unspoken dynamics between Meghan, the host, and the cameras capturing everything. The stage itself was a marvel of production. Lights carved patterns across the floor, screens projected vivid imagery, and performers waited in the wings, their excitement palpable. It was designed to be breathtaking, immersive, and almost intoxicating. Every element, sound, sight, color, and movement, was meticulously planned to create a spectacle. But in moments like these, spectacle becomes a double-edged sword. The very mechanisms that make a show mesmerizing are also those that make humiliation unavoidable. A word spoken too sharply, a glance caught at the wrong time, a joke that lands differently than intended, all can be magnified into controversy. And that is precisely the environment into which Meghan Markle and Trevor Noah entered that night. A setting as beautiful as it was volatile, as dazzling as it was dangerous. Walking through the corridors leading to the main stage, Meghan's team kept a careful perimeter. Stylists, security, and PR professionals flanked her, each person attuned to the rhythm of the night, the energy of the crowd, the timing of entrances and exits. Yet, in all the choreography, the subtle prelude to what was about to unfold went largely unnoticed. Insiders would later reveal that backstage whispers hinted at tension between the host and certain attendees, a friction that had been brewing quietly over months of public commentary, late-night appearances, and media narratives. Trevor had a reputation for precise, pointed humor, and while many welcomed his wit, some feared his capacity to cross lines. The whispers hinted at a joke in progress, one that had been improvised moments before he stepped on stage. A line that would ultimately shift the narrative of the evening entirely. The cameras followed Meghan onto the red carpet, zooming in on her expressions, capturing her interaction with fellow attendees. Every detail was magnified, the subtle tilt of her head, the faint smile that didn't quite reach her eyes, the controlled movements of her hands. This was someone trained for public scrutiny, someone accustomed to walking the fine line between grace and vulnerability. Yet even the most composed individuals have moments of unpredictability. And that night, every step, every glance, every nuance would become part of the story, part of the tension that would erupt when Trevor delivered those three fateful words. Have you ever noticed how the smallest gestures, the tiniest shifts in expression, can signal far more than words ever could? That's exactly what was happening in those tense moments on the Grammy red carpet. But it wasn't just Meghan who felt the weight of the night. The audience itself, composed of artists, executives, influencers, and celebrities, carried its own mix of anticipation and nervous energy. Some attendees whispered about nominations and potential winners. Others speculated on host jokes, betting quietly on who might be the target of humor or jabs. The air buzzed with a strange combination of excitement and apprehension. Every eye in the room was alert, scanning for moments of drama, amusement, or scandal. And in that charged atmosphere, a single line delivered by a host could instantly dominate the narrative, overshadowing performances, awards, and even meticulously curated appearances. As the night progressed, performers took the stage with breathtaking acts, their energy filling the arena and captivating millions watching from home. But the tension between scripted glamour and live unpredictability remained. Every moment seemed balanced on a knife's edge. It's in these interludes, between performances, when the audience's attention is divided and the host commands the spotlight, that a joke can carry extraordinary weight. Trevor Noah understood this. He had honed the art of timing, the skill of reading a room, and the ability to strike a chord that was equal parts humor and provocation.